Hi, my name is Sherilyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother, and I teach entrepreneurial moms how to reclaim, realign, and rebalance their lives and go after their dreams. So, hey, Cherie on Facebook Mentions. Hey, Alicia. Hey, that's all my old childhood buddies and my homegirls from college. It's good to see you all. So, if you are tuning into this broadcast live, you know my excitement. I love engaging with everybody who tunes in live. And if this is a rebroadcast, feel free to you're looking at the rebroadcast. Feel free to hit me with your comments, your thumbs up, whatever the case may be. And we will go from there. Hey, April, you joining me on Facebook Mentions today. This is where everybody is instead of Periscope, huh? So today I am talking about procrastination and how it can keep us separated from our money and our happiness. Not that the two are synonymous, but both of those two things, procrastination can keep you far away from. And we want both of those things, not only just at hand, but within us and in our hands at all times, right? Right. So what I want to do is talk about it as usual from two perspectives, from the personal and the business side of it. And I'm going to jump in starting from the personal side. When I think about procrastination, I think about a delay in doing something that you should be doing, right? And when I say should, I always use that term very loosely because that should is relative to your standards. So there's something that you set up for yourself that you want to do, but for whatever reason, you haven't done it at this time. Number one, in your personal life, how that can cause a problem and keep you separate from that happiness is, let's think about what procrastination does to you in terms of how you feel. When you know that there's something that you should be doing and you are not doing it, there's an angst there, isn't it? Or another word for angst is irritation, because it's constantly playing in the back of your head. Go ahead and finish, Sherilyn. Go ahead and finish whoever, you know you need to do this to get to the next step or to do the next thing around the house or on your job or wherever the case may be. But there's a level of anxiety and irritation that's there. Now, when you have a level of anxiety or irritation that's going on with you, how does that manifest itself in the world? In other words, how do you treat other people when you are internally irritated, right? You more quickly and more immediately find fault in them, right? So it's, why is he or she doing that? Or they're getting on my nerves. Or take it even more personal than that. How do we treat our children when we're already irritated, right? We have a phrase for that, and it's called the straw that broke the camel's back. So it may be the smallest thing that usually doesn't bother you as much, but because you're already irritated, because you're already with this, you already have this angst that's going on in you. Now you're mistreating people. You're treating people based upon how you feel, not based upon what is going on around you at the time. So that causes huge problems. Let's talk about how that affects your relationship with your significant other. So if you are married to a man and or your significant other, like I said, when they come up to you, when they're asking for something of you, or if they are wanting something from you, or whatever the case may be, there's an automatic irritation that's there, and that's an automatic affront. Because once you start arguing and fussing, most times, typically at grown other adult people, think about how you react. You take an immediate affront to that confrontation and say, hold on, wait a minute. And now it no longer becomes about the issue that was brought to you. Now it's about who do you think you're talking to, right? And the issue is actually never addressed. So that can be a huge problem in how it is that you communicate and how it is that you deal with one another, from loved ones to children to literally strangers in the street. So let's make sure, now, if you have all of that going on personally, there is no way that you can be happy at the same time. And the goal is to be happy. Happiness is a feeling. Just like, hey, Rhonda Wright's over there on Periscope. But happiness is a feeling, just as anger is a feeling. And anger and happiness cannot occupy the same space. So if you are angry and irritated, you absolutely can't be happy. The source in this case that we brought up is the procrastination that you have going on. And because you're procrastinating on something that you know that you could or should be doing, it's causing this anger or irritation inside of you, separating you from your happiness. Think about it. Okay, so let's move on. If you're with me, hit me with some hearts or a like, or let me know that you're engaged and you're still here. I see the live viewers over here on Facebook. Like I said, this is super fun. Rhonda, I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you here on Periscope, but I am live on Periscope and Facebook. Yay, that's super exciting. So now I want to move into the business aspect of this, okay, and how it can keep you separated from your money. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that my personal and business motto are congruent, as they usually are, but it is, let's get this money, right? We're in business to make money. And so I'm all about dissecting and figuring out and pulling apart and fleshing out everything that is keeping me separate from what it is that I said that I wanted. Procrastination is a huge one. Not only the delay in doing something, in doing whatever it is that I think that needs to be done business-wise, but I went a little bit deeper in this, and I want you to think about this with yourself as well when it comes to your business. When I talk about a procrastination in business, yes, let's get this money, Alicia. You know, I know you know, friend. I know you know. But when I talk about procrastination in business, I kind of went and moved beyond the surface of just not doing something or being delayed at doing something that we could or should be doing, like I said earlier. And I found out that the reason that a lot of times people are procrastinating in business is because you are afraid of what it will require of you next. Does that make sense? Most times, if you are to be doing something, that next step you take is going to open up something else in your business. You get me, Rhonda? Yes, absolutely. You know that it's going to take you to another level or reveal another step to you. And we're not always ready for what's at that next level. And sometimes we use procrastination to keep us where we are. It's really a form of self-sabotage. That's another conversation. We'll talk about that later. But that procrastination is not just because you don't feel like it. You don't have the time. It's not because you don't understand what you need to do, because for that moment, for that step, you are very clear on what needs to be done. But the fear of not knowing what you'll have to do next causes delay and pause many, many times. I had to be honest about that with myself, and I literally wrote about it in my book. I just had to be transparent with it and say, that's the reason that it took me so long to start You're More Than Their Mother and to go out speaking and mentoring people. Because I knew what I knew. Business call, have to go. Okay, thanks, Alicia, for tuning in. I knew what it took for me to get started. I knew what I knew. Right? I knew how to speak and I knew how to mentor, but I didn't know what other people expected of me. I didn't know what it meant for me technologically. Didn't know what it meant for me time-wise. And that was a bit fearful. That was a bit more than I could wrap my brain around at that time. So admittedly, I began to procrastinate. I allowed other things to get in the way. Really, those were called excuses, if I'm just very honest and transparent and very candid. Okay? Those are excuses. So what I submit back to you is, what areas in your life are you creating excuses around your procrastination because you are because you are afraid of the next step? What areas in your life is that happening to you? Is that happening to you in some areas of your life? And hey there, Karen, I see you joining in on Facebook. And if that is true for you, how can that be eradicated? I absolutely, of course, have many, many tools to do that we'll talk about in later months and things like that. But I want you to think about that. And I want you to pull the veil back and to begin to be very, very honest with yourself. Or what I like to call it is radical. I want you to be radical with yourself. Okay. And this is all a part of self-care. Tell yourself the truth so that you can get to the real root of why it is that you are where you are. Right? Because we all have bigger dreams than where we are right now. And the object is to get there. So, fear can be a showstopper. Yes, it can, Rhonda, here on Periscope. It absolutely can. But what we know for sure is that we have to move through it to get to it, right? So all of these people who we enjoy as mentors and who we see as enjoying what we see as successes, right? Be it monetary or just seem to be personally happy people, right? People that just have this type of joy in them that it's almost inexplicable. To me, that's a level of success. It's not all of what success is, but it absolutely is a level of success. And when we see that, we have to not only try to mimic or articulate that, we have to find out how is it that they got to that point. What is it that they've done? What is it that they're doing? And usually they have gone to the deep crevices of their lives and pull back the veil and pull back the curtain and said, here's what's really going on with me. Here's what I really need to address. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Hey, Ty, that's my girl, my hometown girl. So I encourage you to do the same thing for your life, okay? So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope this met you right where you are and helps to get you to where it is that you want to be. Thanks for joining me on both platforms, on Periscope and here on Facebook. And I hope that you will join me tomorrow next time that we video. And I video live on Periscope and Facebook Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks again, and I'll see you. Until then, please remember it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become the woman you thought you could be. Bye.